Without mentioning age or date of birth, how old are you? Would you like to accept a collect call from mom or one come get us? I remember my mom having a beeper and a cell phone when I was in elementary school. Had to make a mad dash sprint to the cassette player to mash the record button when your favorite song came on the radio. Years old. I remember the sandbag bumpers at bowling alleys, before they got the automatic ones. Also drank the polio vaccination, it was a nice pink color back then. I played the all-green Oregon Trail. Edit. I also played with a computer my dad had for work that he could actually carry around. It was cool. I could play this 3D game called Wolfenstein. I remember Back to the Future in theaters. We actually dialed a 7-digit phone number. When I was a kid, the big playground argument was Sega versus Nintendo. I've had experience with these ways of listening to music. 8-track, vinyl, cassette, CD, and mini-disc. Chicken pox parties. My parents have never admitted it, but I'm pretty sure I was named after Princess Jasmine from Disney's Aladdin. Went to computer labs in elementary school to paint and play pinball. I was the first person in my high school to have a cell phone. I had a Furby as a kid. Why buy DVDs? We have everything on videotape. I was around when man landed on the moon. I don't know if I'm a millennial or if I'm Gen Z. I got in trouble in kindergarten because my Tamagotchi kept telling me it was hungry. Edit. I'm 28 and will be 29 next week. Thanks for all the stories, it really took me back. I also want to shout out all the parents that took care of the Tamagotchis while we were at school, even if they died. Y'all the MVPs. Too young for the first Iraq War. Too old for the second. Drop Dead Fred. Little Monsters, Ghostbusters, The Last Unicorn, and Labyrinth were my favorite movies as a child. Edit. I'm 35. I was the only kid in elementary school with a Game Boy. There was only one newscast at 10 p.m., and before it started, a booming voice asked, "It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?" And after it was over, there was an hour of maybe an infomercial, then a test pattern, and TV was over for the night, and there was only 7 channels. Edit. A user mentioned the Johnny Carson show, so yes, the late night shows did happen after the news, but the TV coming off after those shows, then the Pledge of Allegiance and then static test pattern, that was a real thing. I saw Disney's The Lion King in theaters when it came out. Janeco's. In elementary school, I got to watch the Space Shuttle Challenger explode on live television. Edit. The more I think about this and read others' comments, while I was indeed in 2nd grade, 7 years old, I'm almost positive school was out and I watched this at someone's house with my mother. I know we watched it on CNN and I can see that thin red stripe at the bottom of the screen and that font they used in the 80s in my head, and no elementary school would have had access to that channel back then. I remember Baby Jessica and I was afraid something like that might happen to me too. Grew up watching classic Cartoon Network shows such as Dexter Laboratory, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Johnny Bravo, the Powerpuff Girls, and my personal favorite Ed and Eddie. I was alive when 9/11 happened but have no memory of it. I was conceived when my mom was so overcome by her romantic feelings after seeing Ghost in theaters, starring Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. Rotary phones were a thing. People were wearing balloon pants my senior year of high school. The first movie I remember seeing in theaters was Disney's Lady and the Tramp. Rabbit ears on my television. I remember physical keys for hotel rooms. I was in the delivery room when Keith Richards was born. When I was in high school, literally everyone listened to American Idiot and the Black Parade. Until I was in preschool, there were 48 stars on the US flag. I watched the Apollo moon landings. When I was little, my favorite cartoons was My Little Pony, Rainbow Bright, Strawberry Shortcake, and She-Ra. The Soviet Union was still called the Soviet Union the year I was born. Got my Pokewalker taken away in grade 4 for attaching it to my sock and swinging my leg in class to get steps on it. I've lived in 2 millennia, 2 centuries, and 4 different decades, yet people still tell me I can't call myself old. I wore dittos and high-waisted bell-bottom jeans to high school. We had a rotary phone in our house. We didn't wear seat belts in the car until I was older, and most cars only had lap belts. There weren't car seats when I was a baby. Wooly Bully was the #1 song the year I was born, and Flashdance, What a Feeling was the #1 song the month and year I graduated high school. I am my pet monster and original Cabbage Patch Kids years old. Old enough to remember phone booths and having to get up to change the channel on the TV. MTV actually played music videos. Old enough to have my first phone be a Nokia brick phone, flip phone to now having a smartphone. Ah, simpler times lol. The year I was born, a couple blokes discovered that a certain rock wasn't made of cheese after all. I watched Blockbuster close and remember when Netflix mailed movies and video games. The doctors, nurses attending my mother while she was giving birth to me kept jumping between the delivery room and the lounge to watch the first lunar landing. I grew up with the Wii and in the golden era of mobile games. The answer to life. The universe and everything. I've just started what everyone calls the best stage of life. When I use my birth year in my usernames, everyone thinks I'm a neo-Nazi. Tobey Maguire is my favorite Spider-Man. Evanescence, Bring Me to Life was #1 when I was born. Aeropostale. I love old Vines but never had the app. Was the perfect age for it when memes were at their peak. The Wii was the childhood games console and I played Rome Total War when I was young on the family PC. My dad left for Vietnam right after I was born. I didn't have a social security number until I got my first job. I played video games on Channel 3. Nick was amazing but Cartoon Network was better when I was a younging. I was born the same year the Constitution last had an amendment to it. I know it's about to rain. Before it rains. I thought the Karate Kid game on Sega was peak technology. Graphics couldn't possibly get better. Edit. I meant Kung Fu on Sega, not Karate Kid. My first at-home computer was a Commodore PET 4016. This Disney DVD is enhanced with Disney's Fast Play. As a kid I saw Lee Harvey Oswald get shot on TV. I'm from the generation that used to line up days in advance and overnight for movie openings and CD releases. Thunder. Thunder. THUNDCATS Who. As a little kid I would memorize everyone's phone number. Now I'm lucky to get my own correct without second guessing myself, haha. Get off the internet. Your dad needs to make a phone call. I took my Furby to show and tell and people were generally in awe. Fruit roll-ups and legends of the hidden temple. I used to run for miles. I used to ride my bike. I used to wake up with a smile and go to bed at night with a dream. I was a toddler when IBM introduced the personal computer, PC. My first understanding of politics was the Monica Lewinsky scandal. When I was then we thought the clocks would go to year 0 and everyone was gonna die. I remember TGE Watts riots and the assertion of JFK. When his funeral was on TV I could not watch cartoons. I can always tell my age based on what year it is. I'm really good at pinball, Minesweeper, and solitaire. Parents were watching the news on 9/11 while I was sucking on a pacifier. I want to be the best, for better or worse. Defeat all the rest, 'cause that's my cause.